How are you going with everything in self-isolation at the minute? I've seen you've been doing a bit of sparring and keeping active, which is good with everything going on.
Yeah, man. Quarantine ain't really hurt too much where I'm at. Live out in the woods, man, in the country and on our reservation, and a lot of them gyms in the city closed up. So I've had a lot of guys from Florida and uh, Mississippi and Mobile all travel down here, man, to my little back in the woods oasis, and we've been getting a lot of work in, man. I'm probably strength and cardio wise best shape I've ever been in, and I'm just ready for things to open back up, man, and you know, get back in there.
Absolutely. It's good that you're staying active and yeah, doing as much as you can with everything going on at the minute. And it's good that it's not affected you too much with you saying you live more remote outside of the city. So that's good. Let me take you back to your first UFC fight, which was back in February. And although it might not have been the type of win you
You went
wanted,
down
still
towards Van. Say that again, brother. My
no,
cat ran away
that's
on
all
me.
good. No, I was saying your first win in the UFC, your first fight, it was actually your 8th MMA win in a row. Although it didn't go how you might have hoped in terms of the victory, it was still your 8th MMA win in a row. How did it feel getting that win? And, you know, being in the UFC now, is it a bit more intense in terms of the training as you were used to before, or is it the same type of intensity when it comes to preparing for a fight?
Same. Went down American Top Team like a couple weeks before the fight to really see uh, what level I was on to go with some of them higher level guys in the UFC, and and I felt real good about that. Seeing where I am on a plateau. I know now. I already thought it pretty sure before because I used to live down in South Florida and train at MMA Masters, a real high level gym down there, and um, I just wanted to see where I still was after being back home for a few years, and I I'm definitely up there with the best, and far as training and all, man, it's been the same. I'm still gonna try to venture out and go to those gyms, and soon as everything opens up in Miami, I'm probably gonna be back down there at American Top Team and getting to working with them guys. I mean, they got a great team and great coaching. But other than that, man, I've been doing this for 13 years. I know how to get myself in shape, and all. Other than that, I got plenty of great coaches around me here and there, great coaches, and I just see the sparring partners really to really see where I'm at and what I'm
Right.
lacking in.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously reaching the UFC is a huge milestone for any MMA fighters. It's the pinnacle for a lot of people. And where did your journey begin? So before the UFC, before MMA, where did it all start? And what age did you get started into combat sports?
Um, I got started in MMA at 15. I did about a year of boxing when I was about 12, and quit after about a year. The gym got closed down, but I started training MMA about 15. It all got started. It was crazy. I had a pro uh, cousin that was a pro MMA fighter, and he had fought back in the day on the Bobby Lashley Bob Sapp pay-per-view Blood and Sand. Uh, I was like in '08 maybe. I'm thinking '07 maybe before that. I can't even remember. But he he never even like really went amateur. He just kind of skipped and went straight pro, and he was kind of like the hero around here. And I was working out in the gym one day, and he just started showing me some triangles and arm bars, and I was like, man, that's pretty cool. And right when I went home that day from the gym, my grandpa was inside. Instead of watching wrestling, he was watching UFC, and it was like, I think it was Chuck and Tito, the second time I think, and it might have been the first fight between Chuck and Tito, and I was like, man, this must be destiny. So I went and bought the UFC Undisputed game. It just come out. Me and my friend started practicing moving each other and then flipping trampolines upside down and getting into trampolines and promoting fights at school. And challenging people and getting in the middle, and would play body shots from the neck down and all submissions, any weight class, and I just knew how quick I was learning all these things and started shining on my friends. So and I was the least of my friends at first that could even fight, and then I just started learning all these things, and I just got addicted, man. Moved down to a gym a little way, about 20 miles from where I live and grew up, and started training with some guys there at Team Storm, and had about 8 or 9 fights with them, and ventured off to Mobile and went on a real good streak there. Went pro, and then moved to Miami, man, and jumped up another level, man. And now I'm back here home, man, and I'm in the UFC like almost 14 years later.
Nice. And obviously you got that call from Dana White to be on his Contender series. How did it feel getting that call?
It was right at the right time, man. I was going through a little rough time in my life before, and I took a 10-month break and got got reunited back with God, and me and my wife got married, and I took some time off just to work on my personal life and get things together, get people I owed back, and get a home, somewhat of a home, and yeah, man. And as soon as I got all that together, it was like they hit me up to get on the Contender, and it was like I said, man, it was right timing. It couldn't have been no time before, or later, and I felt like everything aligned up perfect for that fight, and it went it went everything went perfect. I gave I guess a great speech that won his heart and got the contract.
That's awesome, man. That really is. And from the Vargas fight, your first fight in the UFC, I've actually seen a few of your fights prior to that, and you're wearing obviously the headdress and the paint, the face paint, and the body paint as well. Can you tell us a little bit about sort of your heritage and your background?
Yeah, I'm Mowa Choctaw. We're a small band of the Choctaw Indians, and we're a state recognized tribe, still not federal recognized. Part of one of my missions to try to help get my tribe recognized, get us taken care of like all these other tribes out here. And but I'm just standing up also for national recognition of all Native Americans. I want to get there's a lot of there's a lot of natives out there, man, that fight, that do something, but they ain't got nobody that has ever made it, to a high pinnacle sport like I have. And if I can do it coming from a small tribe like where I'm from, the least of many, and I know somebody else out there can do it. I know plenty more can do it. You just gotta put your mind to it and just never give up. And I think, with my high stature in the UFC, that maybe I could start some kind of, new Native American revolution and just get us recognized. And it's always been a part of my goal, man. And my nickname, Choctaw Warrior, Chatatushka, it's all falling into place, man. And I'm really grateful God's put me in the spot that I'm put in, and I just got to make the most of it. And my people, man, I'm never. I don't think nobody could have a bigger support team as what my hometown, the Mowas, they give me, man. It's all love, and I feel like Rocky in Philadelphia, man, every day. So
That's
it's a
great.
blessing.
Yeah, definitely. I seen you actually did a fair bit of acting recently as well on your social media. Is that something you want to get into a little bit more along the line, like aside of fighting as well?
Yeah, I've always had. Everybody's always had not just one dream. People's always wanted to do plenty of things. You might want to,
Definitely.
first grade, you might want to be an NFL player. Second grade, you might want to be a baseball player. Third grade, you might want to be a lawyer. And as many things as I've wanted, I've always been a big anime fan, a big comic book fan. Of my third grade teachers even said I used to want to, on career day, it said I wanted to be a fighter. I don't remember it, but she said it, so we spoke it into existence. But acting has always been something that's been a passion of mine. When I come out, all the face paint, all the headdresses, and all that's you know, in this sport, you can't just be a fighter these days. You know, Connor come in and change the game. Now everybody wanting to see more of a showsman, you know, and they don't want to see the same kind of showsman that Connor is, because then you're gonna be trying to mimic Connor.
Mhm.
Nobody wants that. You know, you gotta have your own. You gotta have your own style, man, your own flavor. And um, you know, I can't fight forever, but I can act till I'm 90, till I'm Clint Eastwood's age, right?
That's it.
So
Definitely.
yeah, use this platform as long as I can. Get out, make a couple movies. I used to live with Josh the Man before he died. You know him,
Oh,
right?
wow. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I
Wow.
used to live with him in Miami. He brought me out there. I lived with him for 2 years, right before he died, and
Wow. Okay.
he was writing a book. His first book was the Housekeeper. You know, his novel about, I mean, not his autobiography about his life and how he made
Mm.
it and prize fighting and stuff. So he was writing a book about me. He found real interest in my life and my story. And for the 2 years, I would just tell him stories about what us Mowas did and stuff, and it was crazy. And he probably had half the book wrote in his phone before he died. You know, and he'd always told me, he said, I ain't gonna publish this unless you make it in the UFC.
Mm.
So it was always a big drive. He was a big influence on me later in my career a few years ago. And when he died, it pretty much crushed me. But I know I gotta make it. I know I gotta write this book. I gotta get this. You know, we gotta get a movie made. And I mean, it's starting to fall in the line. You know, I was literally running the other day, talking to my friend. I was running a 7.5 mile run, and my boy was like, "Yeah, man, you know, what about acting? You know, blah blah blah." We was running beside each other. I was like, "Yeah, you know, acting's gonna fall into place one day." And literally at the end of that run, a dude called and said, "Hey, man, you want to be on a little part of the movie?" I was like, "Bam!" Spoken in
Wow.
existence. It's crazy how things like that fall upon. And it literally is like, you just come up here today and you just in like a little, we just put you in like a little 50-second scene. I was like, bet. That's just a start. It's a win-win for me. You know, it's a rated B movie, micro budget film, pitched to Netflix, but it it's a start, you know.
Absolutely,
So
man. Yeah, definitely. And do you know sort of when around the time frame that the book will be looking to get published? I'd love to read it. I'm sure many people listening as well would love to have a read of that for sure.
um I ain't I haven't started writing it yet. I'm gonna get a little further in my career, and then I would love to be able to get into Josh's phone, but I
Mm.
don't know if that would even be able possible. So I'm gonna have to talk to his mom about it. I'm pretty close with his mom, so I'm gonna ask her if she was able to get in his phone, you know, and get some of his notes. He was a real good writer. I was really interested in seeing what he was doing. I made the title, and I knew he had the title, and it's gonna be called "If This Was an Ocean." So,
Wow.
and that goes with a saying about the Mowas, and I'm gonna save that for a later date in the UFC to really announce what that saying means. So,
I look
yeah,
forward to
man.
that, man. Definitely. And as well, with things going on at the minute, it's kind of hard to tell, who's going to be fighting when and everything like that. But is there a time frame that we can expect to see you back inside the octagon again?
June.
June?
June.
Awesome. Is there any talks of like an opponent yet, or is it still in the works?
They're still working on an opponent and still working on the exact card in June, but we're looking at June. They said they hit me up the other day. Where y'all from?
From Perth, Western Australia.
Okay,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't do the accent, but
Yeah, no, that's it. I was actually born in
yeah,
the UK and I moved to Australia, so I've got a bit of a mixed accent. But yeah, we're
yeah.
quite remote
I
here.
was gonna say United Kingdom, but
Yeah,
yeah, you do sound Aussie too. So,
yeah, it's a
um,
bit of a mix,
how's the
but
fires over there? Is that all that stuff over with?
all that's gone, man. Yeah, yeah. Thankfully, all that's disappeared now. So we've pretty much we're at a stage now where it's just dealing with the COVID situation and getting things under wraps here, and things are going okay when it comes to that situation here, man. We're quite remote here in Western Australia. It's um, yeah, we're everything's going pretty much okay in terms of the numbers. So yeah, how's everything
I bet
going there
that.
with it all?
It's clearing down. Yeah, I mean, we really even hardly hear about it anymore around here, right, babe? Yeah, it's pretty much clearing down. So
Right.
there might be a second outbreak. They might be opening up things too early, I think, but who knows? I mean, I think Sweden just let it run its course, and it's already out of there. So